Kau dari mana Tre?
Dari rumah.
Dekat gym Tre?
Apa dia?
Dekat gym?
Yeah, it's buffering, right? I mean, for me, I've actually had 2 cases where I've been punched because of road rage. But I never talk about it, because I guess
If you review how many percent is like true, how many percent is like not true, okay? No comment.
no, I'm thinking. Move to Brunei, conquer Brunei. There you go. Yeah, not conquer like that. No,
Conquer, right?
no, I'm British, man. I cannot talk that. So I don't think cancel exists. We'll see after this if it exists or not. Right? See you already.
Hey, are you fasting, bro?
You know what? I always think that you're Malaysian, ba. In my head, you're Malaysian.
I feel there's sometimes a lot of people feel that. I don't know, something they just look, they don't think like British, But coming from the UK to Malaysia, you see the opposite. Like, wow, like there's a lot of do's and don'ts, Like there, you can say and do whatever,
Also, comparing it from the Western country, going here, it's quite the opposite of how we feel coming from.
I think so. Like, I mean, I never really followed politics that much, but like my dad and he had his best friend, they were both totally opposite. Like one very left, one very right, So whenever they talk about politics, they almost like punching, fighting. They get really into it. But then they can still hang out and be friends. What I found like here is if you're opposite, you're opposite.
You're opposite, yep.
You won't like mix at all. Like, I don't know, maybe it's the different way people, I guess they take it more to heart. I don't know.
Orang Melayu ke hati.
You said it, right? I didn't say anything, okay? I don't know if you're funny or not, but it's funny.
I think it's not offensive if you're Malay and you're, I don't know, I do, myself, I am Kati. That's why I don't read things about me. Because if I happen to read something about me, I just ponder and then
Start overthinking, right?
overthinking, yeah. Which is why this whole thing that we're going to talk about in this podcast, we're just going to talk about it later. All right. Guys, silent phone because our mic is not as good as the one in the studio. So silent phone. If you guys ada bunyi parut, lapar, kedengaran ya. Are we ready? Do you want to do my intro? It's called Lights Off. You can do it however you want.
How do you want me to do it? Like,
Your style.
lights off.
We're gonna start the podcast now. Are we rolling?
Tutu lampu. Lights off.
Assalamualaikum.
Hi, how's it going?
Hey, I shouldn't have said Assalamualaikum.
Okay. Waalaikumsalam.
We were off to a bad start already. I read so much about you, but I just want to get right into it.
Okay.
I read that you got lost somewhere last year in Taman KL.
Jumping straight into the deep end.
Yes. Hey, you know how it works. You're a YouTuber.
Yeah, it's true. For almost 2 days, lost in the jungle.
In Malaysia.
In Malaysia, in the middle of Taman Negara. Like, you look at the map of Peninsular Malaysia, you find the middle point literally on the middle.
Literally. So this is called Taman Negara. Sorry, I said Taman KL.
I think if I was lost in Taman KL, it would be a bit... Just look for the towers, then you would jalan up, right?
So this was Taman Negara.
Taman Negara.
And you got stuck for 2 days. What happened? What? First of all, what were you doing there?
So my family came to Malaysia. It's the second time.
In Thai, like your dad?
My dad, my mom, brother and sister, they came to Malaysia and we were in Taman Negara for the national park, like do some jungle trekking, that sort of thing. We're actually on the way back to KL and I thought, okay, why don't we just drive around a bit not off the roads, but towards the smaller kampung area, And as we were going, I followed the wrong sign, which actually takes onto an off-road road. And you kind of keep going, and then it got to the point where it's like, okay, we should probably turn back. But it was quite thin, and then the car actually got stuck in some mud. And then it's stuck there, for almost 2 days.
Mm-hmm. So...
like literally stuck in the middle of nowhere,
So, like, what did you, to get out, what did you guys do? Like, you guys walk around? Is there a kampong? Is there a...
I mean, if you say like remote, middle of nowhere, like this is really like middle of nowhere, Like
there's no kampong.
There's no kampong, like the road is like an old...
No service.
No cell phone service, nothing. I mean, we had on, Google Maps has like a cache, right? So you can sort of see roughly where you are. you just see the dot in the middle of green. So you look at this and then you try to figure out, okay, there's some sort of river this way. So the only option we had was the car was really stuck. We tried to dig it out. We couldn't get it out. Me and my brother, we actually walked about 12 km. We followed the road. 12 km, trying to find where the road comes out. Because it's a road, right? It must come out somewhere. After about 12 km, it's like, okay, this is not going anywhere. So we had to go back and just wait at the car until someone came to find us,
Cool, look for you.
Okay, actually, because we'd already checked out that morning, everyone was expecting us back in KL.
Oh.
Also, as well, the rental car had one of those GPS. And I was supposed
rental.
There's a rental. So I was expected to take that back the next morning. So obviously the next morning when the guy turns up and I'm not there, the first thought is, oh, he's stolen the car. So look at the GPS, last location, middle of the jungle. So I think that helped them find where we were.
Pinpoint exactly.
Yeah.
So it took them another day.
I think the total time from when we went missing to getting found was it was one full night and about 2 full days from morning and then another day. I think we got rescued the second day in the afternoon. So it was about, I don't know how many hours, but yeah, about 2 full days, 1 full night in the jungle,
What were you guys doing then? Obviously that 12-kilometer walk.
I was knackered, man.
And you have to go back 12 kilometers
back. I think it was like 6 and 6. It was crazy, It was like 4 hours there, 4 hours back.
You and your brother.
Yeah, brother. I was in my jeans. We checked out. We were supposed to be going back. So like we weren't in our hiking clothes.
Yeah.
No water, no food. Which in hindsight was obviously a bit of a stupid decision. So like I was in my jeans. My brother was in his shorts. Like we didn't have sun cream, no water, nothing. It was really like, I don't know if you took a picture, you'd be like, what are these two Mat Sallehs like idiots doing, Like, so you never think it will happen to you, right? When it happens,
What did the local think?
I think the first thing they thought is, what on earth are they doing? I think the second thing was obviously concern because the locals who know this area, they know it's quite remote. So I find like after the care, it's been almost a year now. So like, I feel okay talking about it. Like, after it happened, the photo that the media shared was a picture of the car, the truck stuck in the mud, and all of us coming out, all looking like really like knackered, covered in dirt, And the way the photo is taken, it almost looks like some like sawah or some grass like behind someone's house, Like it looks like, Allah, this is already in the jungle. So that there's one camp of people that are like, this Mat Salleh guy just causing trouble, trying to make content, As a content creator, people say, it's just for content, right?
Yeah.
Then there's another group of locals who live in this kampong area who are like, you guys really lucky, Because they know the area is really like breezy. So I've actually been back since then.
Oh, you've been back?
I went not to the same spot, but I went back to the village to like say thanks to the guys who helped look for us. And even the guy said again, you guys really lucky, Like that area, like there's all sorts of animals, like if you didn't have the GPS, no one would know where you are. So that is quite a scary thought,
Yeah.
When the locals say how dangerous it is, because this is their kampong and even they don't go there,
Tell me what's the experience like other than, scared, worried about food and water and like obviously your parents were there and then like what was the worst experience out of all those? Is there any like weird experience other than the normal, no food, no water?
Okay. There's one experience which I don't really share too much. It's when me and my brother were walking. We're like walking along like this is the jungle, like it's one of those like logging roads. So it's like this dirt road where they used to do logging, that sort of thing. We're walking along. And I think at this point it's been 3 hours. So like we're both like not talking, tired. I think at this point I actually taken my jeans off. Like, I was just walking in my pants, because it's hot, It's now.
So that part you never share.
So that part I don't share, Like I said to my brother, no photo, right? So I've got my jeans over my shoulders, just walking in my spender, at this point dignity is gone, right? You just want to.
Dignity is gone.
Like me and my brother were not that close, but we had an understanding that there's no judgment. So we're walking along and like suddenly out of nowhere, like everything was really quiet. Like really quiet. Like all the noise in the jungle stops. And then like you feel your like hair stand up,
Do you know what's going on?
And like, I looked at my brother, like, I mean, he's younger than me. So like, I felt like the older brother, you have to like protect him, right? You know, I looked at him and I felt like, I don't know, like, do you feel the same thing? And then he kind of gave the feeling he did as well. And I think at that point, it really set in like, man, we're really in the middle of like nowhere. You know? And like, you feel like an idiot at the time because you're just wearing your pants, you know, like you got your jeans on your neck, you think. But that was the point where, I don't want to say desperation, but the kind of thought kicked in, like, it really kicked in, like, this situation is really like dangerous. You know?
Yeah.
I think it wasn't long after that, we just said, okay, we're not finding the way out, we'll just go back to the car, you know. But yeah, that moment is when it hits in, it's not, I don't want to say desperation or fear, but that the point where you think, okay, this is serious, you know. It takes a while to kick in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, for context, what time was it?
I think this time when the car got stuck was around 11 a.m. I think when we spent a few hours trying to dig it out, you know. I think we left to start looking for the way out maybe around 2 p.m., 2 p.m., something like that. I think we probably kept walking till around 4 or 5, and then we thought, okay, we've got to turn back because otherwise it's going to get dark, you know. And like, obviously, if we don't want to be walking in the dark because it would be pitch black, you know.
Yeah.
So I think it was like, around 3.5, 4 hours out, then we got back just around my Maghrib, like sunset time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Just in time.
Just in time. I can't imagine like walking in the dark, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a joke in my head, man. I don't want to say it. I want to get in trouble.
It's okay, you can say it. I'll forgive you in advance, all right?
No, it's okay.
Okay. But yeah, that's an interesting experience. Actually, I've never talked about it publicly, you know? I mean, partly because there's the whole perception of, what's this Mat Salleh guy there doing there? Why is he like in the jungle? Like, oh, he's a spy trying to find out secrets. I mean, I tell anyone right now, there's no secrets. Like,
Yeah, you just got lost.
They just got lost, you know? And it's funny, there was one comment I remember on a news article that said, oh, this guy is trying to like curi harta negara, you know? And I thought, I really wanted to reply and say, the only people that have been in there curi harta negara, all the locals taking all the trees, you know?
Yeah.
It's not me and my family, we're just lost, you know? But like,
Ouch.
I haven't really spoken about it because I thought I don't want to create any controversy. It was just an unfortunate experience that happened, you know?
Yeah.
But quite scary, you know?
What was the original itinerary for you?
The original itinerary was to go back to KL. And then I thought we'd go up this road to this like small kampung area and then have a quick look. Maybe try to like visit some like orang asli kampung, you know, something like that, you know?
But you got that already. But
Yeah, and it went a bit beyond the plan, you know?
literally.
Literally.
Why did you decide not to talk about it other than the fact that you might stir up controversy?
I think it was quite a traumatic experience for me and I think maybe my family. I mean, I can't talk for them. It was quite a traumatic experience. And then I guess for the people who don't really understand it, they might not understand the gravity of it because it was only like 2 days. You're fine. Everyone's alive. No one got hurt, you know? And then there's also the thing about, I don't know, like I feel like I try my best in all the content, everything I do to try and be positive. I don't talk about bad stuff. I always try to make sure my impact and everything I do in Malaysia is positive. I felt like I don't really know how this can be seen as positive. It might look like I'm trying to milk it for content and sort of thing. The only message I guess I got out of it is don't take things for granted. It's very easy to think, oh, we live in a developed country, you know, like we've got all this technology, I've got my phone, GPS. It can still be quite dangerous, you know?
Yeah.
You should never get too complacent, you know?
Yeah.
But I feel like if I try to spin it from that angle, people will say, oh, you're just doing it for content, you know? So I thought, let's just...
You can't please them all.
I know, but I always try to.
You always,
Yes,
of
you know?
course, you try to.
I mean, you know, right? You try to please everyone.
Yeah. Even though you know you can't.
Yes.
But, okay, funny thing about pleasing everyone. The last time, how do I explain it I remember the last time I was on Reddit.
Okay.
Was when we had that video from... Are we allowed to talk about DTV?
I mean, yeah, we can mention them.
Destination TV came to Brunei with you, and then you did that short Brunei episode.
I think 1 or 2 episodes.
Yeah, 2 episodes. And I got on Reddit because people were not happy how I conversed with you. how I should have conversed in Melayu Brunei, and how I shouldn't talk in English. I shouldn't have talked in Malaysia. I should have just talked in Brunei. So that was the last time I was on Reddit. And I was just thinking like, deja vu, Rhys is coming to the podcast. I am now on Reddit as well. I don't want to get into that, but I just want to say like, it's true that we can't make everyone happy.
Yes.
And I salute you that, you try your best to like not include negativity in your content.
It's very hard to try and keep it positive all the time.
Yeah, I know, right? Because negativity that's what's real as well.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, sometimes people just are like macam they get distasteful experience when they see something negative.
I think like that was one thing I actually feel a bit, I guess, sad about, is when we did do that content, it did end up in such a negative spiral. It's like once it gets out of hand, people just follow a lot of people, they're not leaders, they're followers, right? I guess the netizens, right? They'll follow whatever the trend is. So when something's trending bad, everyone will jump in. I feel like that's what kind of happened with the comments from our videos before, as it started getting negative and then it just sort of spiraled out, and I didn't even realize it was on Reddit. All this stuff is like, man, you can't please everyone, but the whole message that we were trying to push is now lost because everyone's focusing on the bad, the negative side, which actually, even to this day when we were going to meet, I felt quite bad about it because the last time we made content was like that,
I hope this does that's right.
We're speaking English, right? So if people like kacam me for speaking English, like, oh, you should be speaking Malay. Wait, I'm English lah.
Yeah.
I've got to speak English, right?
Yeah, and then if people want to kacam me for speaking English, my podcast is like 80-90% English, right?
Yes,
so you can't kacam me lah. But I think it's fun to talk to you in Malay because I'm just so impressed.
Allah. Anu lah.
No, like, did you set yourself that, okay, I'm in Malaysia, I gotta master this language? Or like, because like we talked before the show today, I have an employee, 20 plus years, in Brunei, back in Brunei, he still cannot master that Brunei accent. Whereas I know another Mat Salleh who's only been here like 6 months, a year, not mastered, but he can speak like,
I guess it depends how much you want to, I guess, immerse yourself in the language, the culture, when I first started learning, like Malay, it was quite hard for me because I would try to speak it in KL and people would speak back in English because for them it's like, oh, it's my chance to practice English. Even my Malay friends would think, oh, I've got this Mat Salleh friend, I'll practice English, but it's like, I want to practice my Malay, So like you really have to force it, And I think for a lot of like expats, a lot of foreigners that come to stay in their sort of their expat foreigner bubble, they never get that immersion. So they can speak a few words, they can go to like the mama and order or roti canai satu,
Yeah.
So they can understand it, but unless you really make an effort to immerse yourself in the culture, the day-to-day, I think any language would be hard to pick up.
So you kind of just like, okay, I gotta master this, I gotta talk back in Malay.
It took a lot of forcing,
Yeah.
I really had to force myself.
Yeah, because Malaysia, English is like second language, kan? So, ano salah lah.
I find like I don't know how to say it, like I really had to force it. Like, everyone says there's this point now, especially in the days of TikTok, right? Or Mat Salleh datang Malaysia, buat video makanan Malaysia, cakap Melayu, terus celebrity. There's this perception, right? I'm not going to deny there's definitely an element of that, especially in TikTok now. You can get viral instantly. I've been doing videos and stuff like for like 6 years now. It hasn't always been terus viral, Like I really had to Malay is not a super complex language, but it's not easy. I really had to, I used to, every weekend I would force myself to go to the Bahasa and I would say, I only speak Malay. If they speak to me in English, I will speak back in Malay. I really had to force it. It didn't just come naturally, But people don't see that, they just see like,
Mat Salleh,
like, or you just speak Malay is easy. It's like, maybe for some people it's easy, but for me, I really had to make quite an effort to speak it, Even now I have to speak it regularly, otherwise it will go,
So like, obviously, like how, okay, for you, maybe I wouldn't say easy, but it's a bit of a routine because you make videos in Malay. Without that, how are you gonna practice this?
I mean, in my office, we speak Malay. So in my office, we've got four team members now. We all speak Malay. I mean, if maybe for client projects, when we're dealing with some clients, we will speak in English. But our day-to-day language is Malay, you know?
So that's how you practice lah.
That's how we talk, you know, like every time we go away. I mean, sometimes if I go away for a week of shooting, I might not speak English the whole week, you know? So, because we're just speaking Malay all the time, the video is in Malay. That's why my English doesn't even sound very British.
Yeah.
It's like lost somewhere, right? You know? And like, who knows where his accent is, right? You know?
I think it's your tongue got like confused now.
Yes. Like tied up, you know? Like even now speaking English, but it doesn't sound very British.
It doesn't sound very British. Remember the first time we met? I'm like, what are you? Like Australian or like hybrid? Hybrid.
I get that quite a lot. I went back to the UK in January. February. I was speaking English and people were asking me, where am I from? And this is like literally my hometown, you know? Like, oh, you're from South Africa. Like, I've never been to South Africa. You know, I don't even know.
So there's that South Africa accent-ish.
Some mix of, I don't know.
A mix of British and South Africa.
Even though I've never been there. You know, I think I guess when you speak another language so much, you follow that style. You never lose your mother tongue, but maybe your accent gets a bit, I don't know, messed up in that sense, you know?
But I disagree because I will always get my Brunei
accent.
Yeah, I can speak multiple Malay accent. Like I can speak Malaysia, apa khabar bro? But I can say like apa khabar mo? Like it's
like totally different.
Yeah, totally different. Or like Indonesia, how do you say apa khabar? Apakah Indonesian? Apa kabar?
I think it's one more kabar.
more like yes, emphasize, yeah. Like apa kabar? Like they always, they're more raw. I thought the Borneos are more raw, but yeah, they do emphasize on every those.
I guess how do you say like tekan, right?
Yeah, tekan, yeah.
Right?
But like it's like I don't know lah. Maybe because I have not experience what you experience, but I will never lose that mother accent. It's easy for me to just switch. Like I could speak Malaysian accent and people wouldn't know I'm Malaysian or not, and I could go to Brunei and speak Brunei, people wouldn't know, like, you know, I can speak Malaysian accent.
I think it's how you switch it, right? Like you can switch quite quick. For me it takes a while. Like I can get my British accent back, but I have to switch my whole mindset back to British, you know? You know what I mean?
I don't know. You lost me.
I'll give you an example. So earlier this year, I was part of a project for a film.
Okay.
So as part of my role was to be an English teacher. So
you're not talking about wait. I haven't watched this film. Everybody watched it. Wait. Mat Kilau. You're not talking about Mat Kilau, right?
Mat Kilau was someone else. No.
I saw your Insta story and I was like,
you know, right? It's been like more than 1 year. Every single post, someone says, "Abang yang berlakon Mat Kilau ke?" It's like, no, it's not. Hey, Mat Kilau. You know, the other day I was walking along near my house, a motorbike went past. Mat Kilau! I was like,
no way. Yeah.
All right, you know? Yeah. Funnily enough, it wasn't that. But unfortunately not, you know? But I had to get my English accent back. So every time I had to
your mother English accent, you mean, or just English accent?
I mean, just to get my mother tongue back. I watched back videos when I was in the UK.
Oh.
I would like speak to my family on the call. I would listen to them talk. I would watch like British TV drama to try and switch my brain back to British accent.
There you go, British.
Coming out a bit in it, you know, like that.
It's gonna be on force.
It's like strangling out, you know.
I think it's just so interesting. It's so amazingly interesting and weirdly interesting because maybe it's just how the tongue of like a British and all these different ethnicities work.
I think so. I mean, I guess it's quite common for British people. You only speak one language. I mean, partly because English is one of the most spoken languages, right? So as an English person in school, you learn English. You might learn a bit of French, but only like 1 or 2 words. So you're growing up only speaking one language. So it's very hard to switch between language. But I imagine people that have grown up maybe speaking 2 or 3 languages, different dialects, different mother tongues. With one relative, they speak one language. With another, they speak this language. It's much easier for them to switch between them. Because from a young age, you've been exposed to it.
Exposed to different types of accents.
Which is why I feel quite sorry for most, I guess, typical British people. Because you only speak one language. Like, you're missing out on so much. I mean, you can speak a bit of French, like undun toa, you know, but that's like it, you know?
Yeah. I think it's that one. The fact that the exposure of the accents in the language, because you can see some actors, they can switch
Like that, right?
Yeah.
I like sometimes when you hear the actor talking when they're not in their role, you're like, huh? Like, oh, you're not American. You're
How good example is Peter Parker? What's his name? Andrew. No, Andrew. What? Tom.
Tom Holland, right?
Tom Holland. Yeah. Switch. Right.
Like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I have the skill. Oh, no, that's the thing. Every Bruneian are like me.
I'm slightly jealous, you know. I love to be able to talk English accent like on the switch, but alas, it takes a little bit.
No, I think Malay, as trying to learn Malay takes so much of your like tongue skills.
You have to sacrifice something.
Yeah, you have this. Is it good? Is it worth it sacrifice?
I mean, no complaints for me.
Yeah, bread and butter. We would say
Bread and butter.
no. I mean, would you say speaking Malay is kind of like your bread and butter now? Bread and butter.
Oh. Bread and butter. No. Oh, man.
Bread and butter. Apa ni bro?
I'll tell you a funny story of this, right? The word boat. So boat in English, like British, is boat.
Boat. The
Like,
brown.
But he said boat. Boat. I was talking to my brother when they came. I was like, hey, then we get on the boat. So, hello, what the what? Boat. Don't you mean boat? So like butter, and butter.
I'm sorry, my legs is up.
You know what I mean, right? Like different.
Yeah.
Hard to follow that. That's
Yeah. I have shared this in so many of my last talk shows, a few talk shows, but my uncle, because there's some sort of like Brunei language that you can Malaysification, Malaysiify or
like
something.
you can turn it out. Okay.
Yeah. So sometimes you get messed up. Like in Malaysia, air tebu, right? It's that
Like sugar cane, right?
sugar cane. In Brunei is elagah. So one time, my uncle went to the stall kan and say, bang, aing gelegah satu bang. And then the abang was like, apa itu gelegah? Oh, tebu. But he
It
just,
was different, right? You know?
yeah.
I feel like actually that's one thing maybe a lot of people I guess don't understand is that even though the main language is Malay, right? Bahasa Melayu, it's got so many
Subreddits.
that are subreddits, where almost each one can be its own language, right?
Yeah,
Even in like Malaysia, right? Like obviously like Sabah is different from
Oh,
Semenanjung.
itu bah kalau kau
Like, you know, like, so there's, even when I went to Sarawak before, like, there's me coming in, like, I can speak Malay, and this guy's talking, it's like, is this, like, what language? Iban or something? He's like, no, it's Bahasa Melayu Sarawak. It's like its own language, right?
Yeah.
So actually, there's all these sub ones.
Yeah.
So I guess it's so easy to not switch between them that you would say a word where someone else is like, huh? Like the aitabu, right?
Yeah.
Like, because it just comes out.
It just comes out, yeah. Okay. I think I want to share something. I think most Bruneians find it easy to switch on the go to Malaysian accent, Indonesian accent. But I have found very little from like Malaysians, Indonesian who can switch instantly. I think that's our advantage lah, God's gift. I don't know.
I mean, if you're gonna angkat bakul, right? And you might as well lift your own, right? I don't know if you have the same like Bahasa.
I think we have.
I mean, it's God's gift to us. No, I think it's an advantage, you know, because I was so shocked when I came to Brunei that time with you.
Yeah.
And like, I thought, I just speak Malay, put a bit of a bunyi on it, you know? It's like, man, I don't understand what you're talking
Yeah. It is like. Okay, let's speak Malay for a bit.
Boleh.
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 Boleh lah.
Boleh. There's going to be a lot of me nodding, pretending I understand, you know? Betul.
Kau dari mana tadi?
Dari rumah.
Dari rumah. Dekat gym tadi.
Apa dia?
Dekat gym.
There. It's buffering, right? Dah ke gym. Oh, dah ke gym. Dah.
Yeah, in the gym. Like, yeah, well, it's the same lah. Did you not go to the gym?
Ada pagi tadi.
Pagi tadi. Seorang je?
Seorang je. So, boleh lah. Boleh lah. But just sometimes, right? This is what it was like, you know? It's like, okay, why don't we speak English, right? At least English you can understand, you know?
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's actually, if you process it like that,
yes,
it's just a variation of...
Like a dialect.
In a dialect, yeah. If you process it like, seorang je, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
It's like, seorang je.
I mean, it was like that when I first learned Malay. Like, if I have friends from my Kelantan, they talk.
Oh, Kelantan.
It's like,
I love it though.
but when you start to listen, it just takes time to process. You can follow, but by then the conversation somewhat else.
They don't even know.
You're like in your car driving back, like, that's what you meant.
That's me. That's me with jokes. I am very slow when it comes to like jokes. I would just laugh with everyone, and then like in the car, that's what he meant.
They're usually for comebacks, right? It'd be like at night, like you'll be lying in bed, then you suddenly think, like, oh, I should have said that. Huh?
Yeah, but that is me. I think like with jokes, that's me. Like, because I don't want to be embarrassed, I wouldn't ask like, what was the joke? Well, I just laugh with everyone. And then at home,
I think there's that thing, isn't it? I think more people pretend and laugh along than actually understand it along.
yeah.
It's just, how do you not get kanpoi, right?
Yeah, like,
But like, you just go, kau faham ke, Rhys? Faham? And you just say, yeah, that's one.
okay. Let's try more. Simple saja. Simple.
Simple saja. Macam ni boleh ah. Boleh ah.
Rhys tanya tak?
Boleh tak kita buat lagi tapi slow sikit?
Diet kau kah?
Cuba lagi slow. 0.5.
Diet Coca.
Diet cool. Okay, cool. Tak tahu. Diet ke?
Yeah. Diet Coca. Like it.
Oh, diet cow.
Let me say Diet Coca.
Instead of cow diet ke?
Yeah.
I think it's in...
Kasar dia Diet Coca.
What, man?
Chill. What did I do?
Yeah, I'm alright. I'm on a diet. But no, I think it's definitely like a KL thing to like, saya ke not ka. Ka is a bit more, it sounds aggressive for us, but I mean.
Oh, yeah, because I have this friend, he told me about this story when he was studying in Malaysia, where Malaysians cannot say like, ka.
Like a
ha. They can only say ke. Like
instead of saya,
yeah.
saya,
yeah. Is that a polite thing or it's just like
it just comes out. I mean, I find like if I talk to like say Indonesian, like Bahasa Indonesia is quite similar. I mean, it's basically the same family Bahasa Melayu, right? Like there's no saya.
So they will be like
saya, like a sound. Or like ke, it's like ka.
Okay, from your experience,
okay,
a very brief one. Which one sounds more kasar? Malaysia, Indonesian versus Brunei.
I mean, that Brunei just now felt like this. Like, you know? Like, man. What? It's not to say it is kasar, but it might sound a bit if you're not used to it, you know?
Yeah.
But then I guess maybe for you guys hearing like, I don't know, like, kau diet ke? It's like, why so lembut? You know, like,
Or like, what's so lambat? I have to go. Like, wrap it out.
just, I guess it sounds different because you're not used to it, right?
Yeah, but we are used to because we are exposed to like Malaysian TVs and movies and like, even Indonesian. I think because we are so like our media broadcasting industry is so much not as
It's a lot of outside.
a lot of outside. Then that's the advantage juga for us lah. Yeah. Do you say lah? Like the Singaporean Singlish, they say apa tu macam
Boleh lah.
like
Okay lah.
okay lah.
I think so. I find probably about the same amount as Singapore. I find I say it in English a lot as well. Like even if I'm talking English with my family, like, oh, come on lah. And like, how was it?
It just comes out.
This comes out. This comes out lah.
This comes out lah. Tak apa lah.
That was a bit forced, that one. I feel like that was a natural one.
It wasn't natural.
But I mean, do you guys say la a lot? No?
Yeah, we do, right? We do say la. Okay lah. Well, but okay lah means okay. I'm gonna ask you something.
Okay.
How's the food?
Okay lah.
Okay lah. What does that mean?
That's like, boleh lah.
Exactly right. Yeah, the la there defines
The whole...
yeah. It's quite the opposite of the first thing that we.
But then you could say, wait, sedap lah. That is like, like this, right?
Yeah. Anyway, my late dad would say like, oh, ada lah. So no, it's good.
I feel a lot of people, like, especially with like Sabah, right? They think that the la and bah is interchangeable, right? Like, oh, in Sabah, they don't say la, they say bah. But actually, no, bah is different.
Different, yeah.
Bah is like almost like the way I'm actually, it's like bro or something. Like, you're saying like,
Okay, bah, kalau
you know, like, it's like that.
that's the. By the way, that's the only Sabah I know. There's a lot more people in Brunei who can like converse in like Sabah.
I guess because you guys are like quite close.
Gang, we are more gang than you.
I mean, because you're next to your neighbors, right?
Yeah.
They like live a few blocks down.
It's getting now. It's getting short with the bridge, and we have a long bridge now
Yeah, right?
from Bandar to our district in Temburong.
Because you used to have to go via...
Limbang.
Yes.
But now we don't have to go through Limbang.
When was the bridge built?
It opened during first wave of COVID.
I think it would have been built when I came, but it hadn't opened.
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing it, right?
Yeah.
Seeing it, right?
Yeah.
Like, impressive, you know?
Yeah, it's so panjang. 20-minute ride.
But then it basically connects you guys together, right?
Yeah. Like everything else, it connects. Hey, connect is bad word lah. Apa ni, bro?
Connect, what?
You don't know what connect? Is that Malaysian or Singaporean?
What, connect? I feel like blur, right?
You don't know ah?
No. What's it mean?
Oh my god, you've been in Malaysia how long?
Connect. Connect is like join, right?
Yeah, but you don't know the... Serious ah?
Okay.
Are you serious or you just...
I know, I'm being serious.
Connect ah. Connect benda bawah tu.
Itu connect.
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 No, I know, but is that not the same? Like, okay. So when
first for me hearing that.
No. When I found out that connect means that, I was like, how do you guys say connect?
So basically now Rhys William has been cancelled in Brunei. I said, yeah, your bridge connect. Let's go. What's this guy saying about our bridge? No, it connects. Okay.
No, but so it's different.
I've never had this misunderstanding.
No. Why is it different? The way you say it or the way you spell it?
I think probably it's an example of the sound is quite similar, even though the word is different, you know? Like, so if I say connect with my lost Sasat language, it sounds like another word. I'm actually saying connect. Yes.
So okay, how do Malay? But is that Malaysian thing or Singapore thing?
I have no idea.
Okay, it doesn't matter. But how do you guys say an actual connect? You just make it emphasize on the T, or like
I don't know. I'm now thinking back. Every time I've said it now, have I inadvertently offended someone?
Yeah, because when I found out, I was like impressed. I'm like how do I say connect?
Sambung, I don't know. Like,
oh yeah, Bahasa,
maybe something.
Sambung. So it automatically means that, or like
I really don't know. It's not my area of expertise. This is the first I heard about it.
But you do know it means that lah.
Yeah. Now you've laid it out very clearly.
You just never use it in a conversation.
Not really. It hasn't really come up. Oh, no pun intended. Okay. Panas lah.
Panas lah. Kalau Brunei sama lah. Kalau panas semua universal language lah. Especially in this country tropical. Yeah, panas lah. Jadi kalau Brunei mungkin guys, what's the most kasar panas expression that we panas
See, that sounds kasar. Panas Panas.
Yeah, kalau Malaysia maybe panas lah.
It's a bit more, I guess, up and down, right?
Well, I recently followed shout out lah to Sun TV on Instagram, and they always show this road incidents. Is it happening every day, guys? It's like a lot of
Road incidents.
road incident.
Like, for example?
Like people, the normal one would be like langgar apa tu, traffic light apa kan. But the not normal one, gaduh.
I mean, for me, I've actually had 2 cases where I've been punched because of road rage. But I never talk about it, you know? Because I think maybe
You think it's normal?
it's never happened in the UK. But maybe it happened in Malaysia. Maybe, I mean, I take responsibility because I was driving a bit of an idiot. You know? I think maybe it's like there's so much traffic. The weather's so hot. People are stressed out.
But the weather's so panas
Panas This is not panas lah. This is panas So like something small will happen and it just people there
because of the panas
and just so many things, it just blows out.
And then somebody punch you?
I had it once before. I mean, it was my fault, so I padam muka, right? You know the peta, right? You're not supposed to stop in the peta.
The yellow,
right?
the yellow, yeah.
Right? Now, this is not an excuse, but I've never seen anyone else not stop.
Yeah.
Now that's
Even in Brunei.
It's not to say, they orang boleh, I boleh. No, I'm still wrong. I went in the peta and the car was trying to come in, and he was beeping at me like very angrily.
What did you do after he beeped?
So his car like got to him. My window was down. I mean, this is my old car. I didn't have aircon, nothing, you know. So like the window was down. He got to this point, and like he's like, you cannot stop in the box, you know.
Oh, dia tak cakap Melayu lah. Dia
talk English.
Dia nak dia practice.
Right?
Dia nak.
I think he thought, okay, if I monkey him in BM, he won't understand. So I talk in English. Then I replied, kau ni bodoh ke? This was a very long time ago. I was very immature. I wasn't a matured man anymore. I was still panas as well. Right? But obviously, imagine this guy has not only been makied by a Mat Salleh, but also in Malay.
In his mother language.
So he got out of the car, came over and just punched his face.
Well, you were in the
car. And at this point, the traffic had moved. So I thought, okay, if I get out and start a fight, it's my own fault because I asked for it. And I mean, in a fight, no one's going to win, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, of getting in a fight. Yeah. So I just took the punch and just drove home, you know? But I think it was my fault, you know, because I went in the box and I shouldn't have gone in the box.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have said, you know, because I made it worse, you know? But I feel like the media makes out there's a lot more cases than there are, but I think with so much traffic, people are so stressed out, you know, their emotions get the better of them, you know? Yeah.
I think because maybe in Brunei there's not so much dash cam. Nobody's sharing dash cam.
Maybe there's also not so much traffic as well. I mean, I do remember when I came to Brunei, the roads did feel very chill, you know?
And I remember driving a group of Indonesian one time, and then I was complaining to them, "Hey, traffic lah." Sekali, they look at the they look at the road. Hey bro, this is nothing lah.
See Jakarta, you know, like
Jakarta not moving at all.
Like,
It's like, now it's moving. What are you talking about? He said, he doesn't talk in English.
That's okay, I understand. I imagine but it's all relative, right? I guess because you're used to your reality. you try to impose that on others, right? So
Yeah.
they would consider traffic. For you would be like crazy traffic.
Yeah.
But what you would consider traffic for them is like, alah, ni normal.
Allah, normal lah. This is rahmat lah, apa ni bang. Kalau orang Brunei like, alah, jam. we call it traffic jam. We call it jam. But in like Malaysian or Indonesian reality, this is like, it's not.
It's not. The same for Singapore as well. Whenever I go to Singapore, when you see the traffic there, it's like, yeah, it's still jam, but it's not. It's not like KL jam.
No, it's like KL jam.
Like KL jam is like someone's going up the hard shoulder, someone else is coming the wrong way down the road because they want to go home, you know?
Okay, with funny story about that because yesterday we went to India and then we were waiting quite a while for this Grab driver to pick us up. And then suddenly he went the wrong way on the map, right? He went the wrong way. And I'm like, it's not supposed to go there. And then he reversed balik. And then he cancelled. Because probably ada kereta sini. He had to reverse and cancel lah.
Yeah, there's definitely something is you sometimes see it on the highway, right? There'll be someone reversing up the highway because they missed the exit, you know?
Someone reversed the highway.
I've seen it.
When in Brunei.
I mean, you guys' highway is quite...
Return dapat.
Like, Brunei, you just go maybe 10 minutes, you U-turn, right?
Yeah.
I've seen it on the highway before, people reversing, but, you know, I won't judge because you never know what the situation might be.
Yeah, maybe they have to. Maybe, but the next U-turn is usually very far.
That's normally why. So I try to think about it. There must be a reason why they feel...
Ada sikit perut lah.
Yes, there must be some reason, right?
Dia nak beria.
Kita bersangka baik.
Beria tau.
This is one of those cases of tau.
Beria berak.
Berak.
Berak, dia nak beria.
If you said that here, dia nak beria.
Dia nak beria dia. No.
Different meaning. Okay.
The last time you were in Brunei, you were with Destinasi TV.
Yeah.
And then I think like a year later, I sort of like through your Instagram, I'm like, hey, let's split up.
2020, just
a year later?
Yeah, it was, I think, around about a year later.
COVID and
During COVID.
Are you open to talk about it?
I mean, there's not really much to talk about. I mean, obviously when I joined Destinasi TV, there was just a few partners, very small channel, not really had much exposure. Still started to create content. I'm not going to claim I came in and was the first there. I mean, they'd already made content before. That's why they came to me. We worked together, we partnered out, we grew the channel, I think, almost 200,000 subscribers together. And then we got to the point where our vision, everything wasn't aligned.
Oh, wasn't aligned.
So
had their own...
Everyone had their own direction, you know. I mean, so we split 2020 and went our own ways, you know.
So there's not really any...
It
happens in every...
It happens in everything. I think the thing which is quite interesting is even to this very day,
you're still referred to as...
I'm still referred to as Destinasi TV. I mean, I was on a shoot yesterday with my own team. I mean, it's been 3 years. Some guy on a bike comes up. Destinasi TV, It's like...
Chinese,
No, it's like, I mean, I don't know. I gave a Chinese... Abang yang Destinasi TV ke? It's like, I
just gave a Chinese accent just now.
He wasn't Chinese. But, I have to explain, you know, I find that happening quite a lot. I feel like maybe because for some reason when I left, they never announced their side, you know, which,
did you announce on yours?
I announced my side. I gave it a few months. I mean, it was a difficult time for me because you imagine you've spent 3 years of your life investing your time, your money, your energy into a project.
So you were one of the partners as well.
I mean, I was a partner. I had a share, you know, you invest a lot of your time and energy into something that it doesn't work out. Obviously, that's life. You move on. But it was a few months it took me to really like understand, okay, this is
not
working out. So I made a statement, but it wasn't their side. They didn't make a statement. So that's why even until this day, people still think I'm involved, which to be honest with you, I mean, it's a little bit immature on their side to not acknowledge it, because I think there's that fear of if we announce Rhys is gone, we won't be able to stay on our own.
Because you were kind of the face.
Yes. Now for me,
yes. Dengan confident, yes.
I've moved on from them. I feel like if they'd have made a statement, it would have helped them because it would have made them realize we're not just Rhys. So rather than try to hide the fact and make it out like Rhys is still there, he's still coming behind the scenes, they should have said something. Because I mean, even now, bro, like literally yesterday, I had someone asking me about this. I'm tired of explaining again and again, you know? And it doesn't make sense for me to make another statement because it's been 3 years, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really follow them. I don't really keep in touch with them. I mean, I still look back and think my contribution was one of the reasons why it grew so to the level it did. So I hope they will continue to be successful because if not, it reflects badly on me, right?
Yeah.
I was the co-founder, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not really up to date.
I think they're still doing food, right? It still pops up on my feed.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, I don't really watch because I'm focused on my own things. But I do wish well for them because, you know, it's on my LinkedIn, right? I'm the co-founder. So if they like bunkos, it doesn't look good for me, you know? And that's
Mobile lah LinkedIn nanti.
I think it's
You're kind of proud of that phase of your life.
I am.
Would you say that?
I also want it to be more than just me.
Yeah.
I want it to be more than just a host because anyone can be a YouTuber, anyone can start a TikTok, make content and become famous. But how do you build a brand that isn't reliant on a face, on a name? I want them to become like something like, you know, like Vice. You know, they have one on CNN, I think like Great Big Stories, you know, like some media company like Vox, you know, like these ones where their content is good enough, they don't require a face. I want them to get to that stage, you know? So I feel like me stepping out is an important part of that journey.
Yes.
Otherwise, it just becomes my YouTube, you know?
Yeah. Which at first I thought
Yes, you know?
TV was your thing.
And I mean, even this patchy yesterday still thought the same.
Yeah.
Lama tak nampak. It's been 3 years, bro, you know? Like,
You don't say bro to Apache.
I do.
Oh, you say bro to Apache.
I feel like if I say patchy, they terasa, right? Because when people call me patchy, I terasa.
Yeah, that was in your IG story as well. People call you Pachi.
Oh, semangat konten patchy. I'm abang lah. I'm not patchy. I'm still muda lagi, you know?
How old are you? You know what shit.
This is the no-go topic, right? No. How old are you?
I'm 35.
35.
Yeah.
How old do you think I am? Play the tuk-tuk.
Okay, I'm not trying to be offensive here racially, but when it comes to like English, it's so hard to, because of the beard, because of the skin.
This is a disclaimer, right? It's like, I'm not racist, but I'm not trying to be rude, but
There's always a but. When you say but, it's always the opposite.
right?
But okay, I know this. I think you've mentioned it in the past.
I don't mind telling you if you want. 1991. 1992, sorry. So I'm 31.
F me.
Yes. No. That's the reaction I get. People are like, oh, you're only 31. I thought you were like 45. Come on, 45.
No, I thought you'd be like late 30s. To be honest, because of your beard, because of your English.
It's okay. Maybe I should be called Pachi, right?
Yes, you're definitely an abang then.
Yes.
Pachi. I feel like I'm a Pachi.
No lah.
No, let's make it more standard. Like, uncle.
Uncle is okay.
Uncle is okay.
Uncle sounds like, because you can have a cool uncle.
Yeah. Well, no, uncle Pachi.
I mean, you can have cool, but Pachi in my mind, I imagine like,
Pakai topi haji.
yes, you know, like with this
Kain sarung.
line on the kapchai, go to the surau.
We don't do kacai in Brunei.
Oh, I mean,
Not to say we're rich or something. It's just that it's so dangerous to ride a kapchai.
okay. Definitely cultural difference there. I don't know. Okay, the Pachi in his, I don't know, what would he be driving like? Pachi car, you know?
No, actually, the Pachi, they drive like good cars.
Definitely different Brunei. But that's the image we have of Pachi, right? Uncle, you imagine like the cool uncle.
The cool uncle, yeah. The cool uncle, the one that says, it's okay. You get away with that.
Yes. So I think it would both be cool uncle.
Yeah, I don't mind uncle. Wouldn't go call me Pachi.
Okay.
I've been called Pachi lah in the past.
So it hits differently, right?
It is differently. Like, I mean, I know I'm old, but not that old.
It's funny, isn't it? Because I guess, like, I mean, you know yourself, you get all sorts of comments, positive, negative, but there's the ones that really stick out, you know?
Yeah.
It's when people sincerely call you Pachi. it really hits differently, you know.
Yeah. What was the common one for you?
The common one for me is fat, you know.
Oh my God, it's the same with me.
Like, you get it so much. I don't know, like it sort of goes over your head, you know.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's I'm like it. Like what? Yeah, do you have anything better?
I think like one thing that I learned a lot about comments. I used to get very touchy about comments. I mean, I think probably when we met in 2019, I was the kind of person who I would screenshot the comment. I would go on Twitter and I would really get.
Oh, you would do that.
I would get the response, you know. And I realized actually maybe the people who are very vocal and very aggressive, maybe it's reflecting part of you. Like, actually, the reality is it's a bit like if someone gives you a gift, if you don't accept the gift, who owns the gift? You or them. So it's like people can say stuff to you. If you choose not to accept
the thing about me being slow, I'm still processing.
okay, it's okay. I'll come back in a circle back for right?
I'm still.
But okay, it's a bit like if I was to say something about you that was not relevant at all to you. Like you think if I said, "Oh, man, you're so popular," I'm not popular. Like I'm literally not popular. So if someone calls you fat and you take it personally, maybe it reflects on you have some belief about yourself that you're fat. But
I am.
I mean, everyone's different style, right? I guess for me it's when you try to not take it personally because you realize these people maybe what they're saying isn't necessarily true. And at the end of the day, I think it's Gary V.
Yeah. I love Gary V.
If you don't, how does he say it? Something I don't want to misquote. It's something along the lines of, if you don't live for the praise, you won't be affected by the criticism.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you don't need people to say positive things about you, then the negative things will affect you.
Yeah.
But if you're somebody that requires other people's validation, like I need to see positive things, then you take the criticism personally. Actually, if you just learn to live without both, but it's a lot easier said than done.
Yeah, it's a lot easier than that. I think. Okay, let me just share. I think it's a good time to address people here. I have thick skin. I've built it over the years. Like I don't care what you say about me and anywhere. But don't leave my family out of it. You're crossing the line when you bring my family into the discussion. You expose my personal information. That's over the line. So, obviously, I'm still like I'm okay with it. But then now my family is like, hey, they say these things about you. It affects us, affecting them. So that's where you draw the line, lah.
Yes,
Yeah. So, but if they just say I am fat, I am whatever, I'm like, okay, it's not for you. The content's not for you. It's okay. Yeah.
I think you're right about family. I think that's why, like, for me, I don't really talk about family.
Yeah, you hardly ever.
I used to, and then it led to some problems with my family. So now I just don't really talk about it. Like, better to keep some stuff private.
Yeah.
I would say 90% of what I do in my life I don't talk about publicly. So people only see the 10% of like, wow, this guy just goes on eating, so cool.
Sentiasa lapar, kerja makan. What's up, mau baju bang? Aku buy. Oh my god. Dia jual tak?
Ada jual.
Boleh ship ke ni? Ada masa?
Shipping ke Brunei boleh?
Shipping boleh?
Boleh.
Okay. I like the one that kerja makan tu.
Okay. Later we PM tapi, right?
Boleh. Kalau di Brunei, dia punya apa tu? Istilah buksis. Buksis.
How do you spell
book? Like booking.
Booking?
Sis. As if like sis is
like sis, like
sister.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter if the seller laki or perempuan. They're like sis.
It's a bit like that case where two people are hi dear. They both turn out as boyfriend lucky, right?
Yeah.
sis. Okay, book sis. Okay.
Sis, yeah. I love the shirt. It's always like I even remember last time we took a picture together. You were wearing Sentiasa Lapar, and then I think my wife commented like, "Oh, one is Sentiasa Lapar, one is Sentiasa Kenyang." Like I'm always spastic,
Yes,
right? Yeah.
That's the opposite.
The opposite. But now it's kind of like...
It's terbalik, right?
Terbalik. Terbalik is bahasa Malaysia.
I think you say terbalik, like switch around.
Yeah. But is that Malaysian?
I think so.
Do you think so? I don't. How would you know it?
Terbalik, right? It's definitely not English.
How do you know English? No, just the way you say it is a bit Brunei.
How would you say it?
We say terbalik. Kalau Malaysian, terbalik.
I do still get comments on my pronunciation not being right, so maybe I'm still like following some other influence somewhere, you know?
What if we hang out like every day? You would be like Brunei as well.
I wouldn't actually...
Panas eh?
Panas eh?
Panas eh? That cook.
Diet Coca. There you go. Done. Move to Brunei, conquer Brunei. There you go.
Yeah.
Not conquer like that. No. Not like that. Conquer the Brunei market.
Conquer Brunei.
No. I'm British, man. I cannot. Just said we'd fit nicely with Brunei and now cancelled in Brunei.
Do you still get Brunei followers?
I think it would be an oxymoron if I said a large percentage of our audience, but there is a percentage of Brunei in there. I mean, we see in the data.
Yep.
After Malaysia, second is Singapore. Then I think Brunei, then Indonesia.
It's Malaysia.
Because the language is very...
Yeah. I think Indonesian... Have you... You said you're going to Singapore.
Yes, tomorrow.
To do content?
This one is for... There's a conference and also to do content as well.
Okay. And food as well?
Yes, food.
Wow.
So I think I've been to Singapore like in the last year 3 times now. Because the audience there is quite a large percentage. They're always asking, Rhys, come to Singapore. So started to go there. So I'm waiting for the Brunei ones now. Rhys, come to Brunei.
Hopefully after this, come to Brunei lah. Yeah.
Waiting for my invitation, please.
Yeah. Bring me lah to your food.
We need to do the follow-up from last time.
Yes. Oh my God, I got somewhat in a trouble that I didn't bring you to my restaurant. I told you Yeah. So like, people were saying, why didn't you bring him to the restaurant? I'll be biased. Well, I bring him to my restaurant.
That's why I need to go for longer. I think we had 1 day.
Right? One day
is not enough.
The start now. That's cool, bro.
I need to version 2 come back, right?
Yeah. And we'll kerja makan all day lah.
Yes. And then that would be my 4th time in Brunei.
Fourth time.
Setting a record.
Yeah. You might as well just move.
Hey, if the opportunity is there, I wouldn't say no. I mean, it's also, you got to enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
Like, you got to enjoy what you're doing, as well.
I enjoy what I'm doing. I enjoy talking to people. Because in this trip, I got quite a lot of names. And I'm like, I only want to talk to people that I want to talk about. I don't want to talk to people.
That's for the sake of it, right?
Yeah.
It's same for food. I mean, we get requests all the time for food reviews that we actually just reject. Partly because maybe it doesn't fit our criteria, whether it's halal or not. Sometimes it's like the reviews are bad. Sometimes it's like, why would I promote this food? It's like, it's not I don't like it. I'm not saying bad stuff about your food, but I only want to promote places I feel are worth promoting, right? Some people, like, asal ada duit, boleh lah, But you got to enjoy what you do, right?
Yeah. Mostly they're locals, right? Local brands and mostly.
Mostly. Some like bigger brands, but less so,
Yeah, but so much money to spend on marketing.
Do you mean the big brands?
No, the small. I don't like disclaimer. I don't know how much they pay, but the ones I see from your page is so much locals and
I think the people have found the marketing style that works. Like they know, they get in food reviewers, they invite certain people every month that have 1 or 2 coming. They know that marketing works, which actually I think is quite smart. A lot of people like come to us, they ask for a review, like we won't just do a review. We try to find out a bit about their business, We try to make it very clear to people. You can't just invite one influencer once. Sekali saja. Sekali je. You dare! Getting that, right?
getting there.
You can't just invite once, then your restaurant will be viral forever.
Yeah.
You have to do regular marketing. I think that's why you see a lot of these places, they're pandai, They every month they get new people, they do new promotions. That's how they end up doing so well.
Yeah, because I run a food delivery based business off of my restaurant. So it's two separate things. So when we first started, we had a viral video. And so we got a bit of followers from that video. So for a while, we just run off no ads, no viral video. And even though we're getting views on the stuff that we post on the account, it rarely gets any sale. But once we turn on the ads or new videos, boom. So you can't just rely on the current audience that we have, unless maybe the engagement is so high that
I think you have to find what works for your product and your market, right?
yeah,
Like if the ads are working, then keep that.
give that, yeah. Even though like we don't want to do it, but it's the only thing that works.
Yes. And once you find what works, don't stop, right?
Yeah, you just keep on expanding, I guess. I remember you were explaining in one of your videos that you do a lot of your content by phone and by.
Yes.
You still do it that way?
Yes. So around 2022, we switched our style. So we saw the trend was the shorter videos.
Shorter videos. Yeah.
So I remember there's one case study I remember. We did a video about durian. So I took a whole crew into the farm for one day. We filmed everything, how they plant, how they harvest, everything for durian. Then we went to their factory to see how they process, how they freeze. They use like, what's it called? Liquid nitrogen freezing to ship to China. We filmed this like very complex documentary. It's the raw footage, the first cut was 40 minutes. Then we get it down to like 15 minutes, you know? The average view time was 40 seconds. So you imagine you spent all this effort. And at that point, I realized, okay, TikTok, IG Reels are coming up. I think back then, Facebook Reels was just about launching, YouTube Shorts, So I made the decision, like, let's switch our content to 1 minute videos. We shoot on phone. Follow the trend. That's what the audience is saying. And so we switched to that. Now I would say we probably film 90% on phone.
On phone only. Why do you still need the usual camera?
Sorry?
Why do you still need the normal camera?
There'll always be a demand for the longer content, but not so much for me and my page. I'd say more for clients.
All right.
There'll always
for
be
their page, they want it longer, they want it more professional, and then you take the camera out.
But for like food reviews and stuff, I mean, even like we manage that TikTok account for some clients, we just shoot on phone, because
Keeps the cost down, I guess.
keeps the cost down. It makes the process easier.
Easier, yes.
And you also get quicker turnaround time. So like if say you're shooting for a client, they want it out tomorrow. You can do it on camera, but the process of editing, transferring everything adds on time. If it's on phone, you can shoot, edit, and then ready,
So your team is like adverse on this whole process, or you still have a lot of input?
I mean, now I could say my team runs basically 90% of the content we do. I mean, in terms of creative direction for...
Mat Salleh ni buat apa? On?
I just makan. Kita makan je.
Makan je. Makan je. Pick it out. Aku kena makan je.
I think because when you understand what works, then you just do it, So I'm quite proud of my team because they manage that side of things.
Yeah.
I'll focus on enjoying the food. I mean, obviously, when we shoot for clients and stuff, mostly my role will be on the creative side, like thinking of the ideas, storyline, that sort of thing.
Does your team eat as well?
We all eat. We usually bring some back to the office. We take some home because there's always a lot of food.
A lot of food, yeah. These restaurants, they
serve everything,
Yeah.
I mean, when we go to Singapore, we don't buy food at all because there's enough food.
For oh my God,
which saves all the cost,
Yeah, that's a blessing.
It's very lucky. I think very fortunate to get to do this job,
Okay, mate. Okay, I just wanna. I want you to share your trade secret lah, sedikit lah. Sikit je bro. I actually did some kind of food review back in the 2021, right after the first wave of COVID in Brunei.
Okay, I think I saw, right?
Yeah, but then how do you still make content and be true to yourself? Okay, what I mean by that is, when I make these videos, the review is real.
Okay.
As real as it gets. And some of these vendors, they don't like it. So how do you keep that balance of keeping the restaurant vendors happy and also stay true to your kind of like perspective?
Okay.
Because I'm not sure how you do yours. Like, I don't know if you're okay to share, like, if you review, how many percent is like true, how many percent is like not true.
Okay.
No comment.
No, I'm thinking.
Offering.
And buffering. No, I think I could very easily say like everything we do 100% is true. As in, it's not to say my taste is so everything tastes good. It's not to say that. It's to say like that's why the first stage is the input. We don't just review anywhere and everywhere. So we get a lot of inquiries we reject.
Also,
Places we review. So we make sure that we're only reviewing decent places. So most of that, in the early days before I was recognized, I would go and eat myself. Now I can't because if I turn up, people would take photos and stuff, you know. So like, you know, maybe one is like reading reviews online, seeing other people's reviews. So you make sure your bahan, right, your raw ingredients is good, you know. The second thing is, I think when it comes to food, most places that have been around for a while, they're doing well. They're not bad. It's very rare to find a bad place. I mean, they usually close down quite quickly. And another thing is, most places tend to have their speciality. So like this restaurant, they do all sorts of dishes. Maybe one or two dishes is their main, like that one is wow. Yeah, the other dishes are boleh lah, you know. So like part of the review is we try to find what's the good part,
the best one.
the best one. So like a lot of restaurants, they'll ask us to review everything. They'll say like, oh yeah, you review this, we'll put this in, we'll put that. They say, no. What's your best seller? What's your specialty? Because if you're a seafood restaurant, there's no point me reviewing on nasi kambing or nasi ayam, you know, because it won't be as good as your fresh like lobster or something, you know. So it's about selecting the food there that's good. And I think the last part is when making the content is, we're not saying it's the best in the world, because you'll never know what the best is. It's always based on my experience, you know. So like if there's one dish that I don't really like, I won't highlight that dish so much. I will talk about what I like and my opinion, but we never like go down the route of some reviewers is like, oh, ini nasi ayam yang paling padu dekat KL. No, because you haven't tried all the nasi ayam.
Yeah.
I don't know. But you say, for me, this one is good. I recommend it. So it's about, I guess, you're still honest, but trying to keep it positive, you know?
Yeah.
I find that if I go down that route of being too honest with everything, people always come back to, ala, dia ni Mat Salleh apa dia tahu? You know? Which is
Flash, yeah.
because like, apa Mat Salleh cakap masakan nenek moyang kita tak sedap? So it's like, okay, we focus on the positives by making sure the input and stuff is good, you know? And I guess as well as you're not just reviewing, you're also promoting as well. So it's not really a 100% review, 50% review, 50% promote, which is you're highlighting the best, the wow factor.
I might go into food.
I think there's a market for if you can go into traditional food, because a lot of people, I don't think they know traditional food, especially for like somewhere like Brunei. I imagine like, obviously if you target your market in Brunei, orang Brunei tahu apa masakan traditional Brunei, right? But imagine you can show the outside, like Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, what is
The Brunei.
unique about Brunei. So that maybe your language might be like standard, like Malaysianized Malay or something, you know? Because then the traditional food, I find that works. Like for me, one of the things that really helped me get started was promoting traditional Malaysian food from a Westerner's perspective. Because like everyone knows like Kedah is this food, but it's like, oh, this Mat Salleh guy's telling me about it. It's something different, you know? So I feel like traditional food would probably work quite well, because I don't really know
Traditional food in Brunei. But that's the thing though. there's some correlation between all this Malay, negeri Melayu kan. Apa aku cakap Malaysia ni?
I don't know. That you have to find for your duo, right? Whatever fits you. Right?
But why would you say do it in a Malaysian language? Because that is the most universal out of all the...
I guess it depends. If you want to target local, but then the other one would be international, which would be English.
Yeah. So would you say better? Why don't you do it in English?
Why don't I do it?
Because then it would still be a...
Actually, it's funny because I do have another few platforms which are not my face, but we do it in English anyway. So the idea is targeting international, but it's not me as the face, you know? I think the reason why I do it in Malay is partly because it just sort of happened. I was speaking Malay, I was talking Malay, it just sort of happened, you know? But I feel like the best one is English. The only problem with English is, the only challenge I see is now you're competing
against
all the other English content. So if, say for example, Brunei, now your Brunei traditional food is now competing against the whole world's traditional food. Because it's in English, right? So that people going to be looking at Thai, Philippines, Indonesia, Hong Kong, China. But then if it's in like Malay, now you're just competing with the other Malay language ones for attention. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense.
But I don't follow my advice because it might not work. You know, this is just my idea would be, maybe if you target locally first, there'll be people from Malaysia who are like, oh wow, what's Brunei food like? You know?
Okay, how about this though? How about I do it the Mr. Beast way? You do it in your mother language, or like Malaysian language, and then just dub the whole video in English. Just for the international. Because we do have people from coming in from outside.
Yes.
And yeah, just to like instead of making another video, just dub the video in English.
Yes, I mean, if you're doing food content and a lot is close up, then you can just do voiceover in English, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, then it's, you know, you just maybe if there's any scenes where you talk, you just change, like maybe you record once or twice.
It just dub it all lah.
If you want dub, boleh lah.
Boleh lah.
Boleh.
Boleh lah. Boleh kah?
You boleh try lah.
Boleh cuba.
Boleh cuba.
Boleh cuba.
I rasa bersalah.
Tak apa rasa?
Cakap banyak.
Nanya. Rasa kau
Nanya.
banyak cakap.
Oh, nanya.
Nyanya NY. Nyanya. Yeah, banyak kurapak. Kurapak is the name of an influencer in Brunei. But I didn't mean him lah. Banyak kurapak mean banyak cakap.
Oh, banyak cakap.
Banyak kurapak lah kau ni.
Oh, tu kasar. Banyak cakap kau ni.
Oh, chill lah.
Sabar.
Sabar bro. Tapi like when I speak Brunei tu macam like, is it like you said, is it hard because you needed to process it first, or
I think it just takes time to process, right? Because you're used to it, you know.
you think a typical Malaysian would buffer it faster, or
maybe if they have been exposed to, like, I don't know, maybe Sabah,
at least Sabah,
you know, because it's similar-ish, the intonation, you know. Maybe.
But sometimes I find it hard to understand Sabah as well.
That's why I think language is such an interesting subject, because there's so many different dialects, but it's the same language, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe some people would find it easy, some people might find it difficult, you know?
I see.
That's my politically correct answer.
Politically correct.
That everyone's happy with that.
Okay. I want to touch about this losing weight story.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think you've shared this too much on your
Not so much.
platform, because I remember when you came, you were a bit
berisi.
tak payah mention lah. Tak payah cakap lah.
Bit on the lunch side, right? I think when I came to Brunei, I was probably the worst in terms of my body.
You had longer hair too.
I had long hair. I was quite out of shape.
Yeah.
I think I was like 140 kg.
140?
Yeah, I think my body fat was now probably 40-50%. It's quite a lot, you know? I often blame the food reviews. Oh, well, I'm eating every single day. Actually, it's not the food on the food reviews. It's when you go home, you eat the burgers, you don't exercise. The weekend is fast food. But 1 week, I eat a Ramly burger every single day.
Oh, Ramly burger. Which one is the best nearby here?
nearby center. I don't know. There's a really good one in my house. Like really
Wait.
good. Tamadesa.
Oh, is it close from here?
Not that close.
Oh, so you had to drive very far out to get here.
I actually got a Grab because my life not parking.
Oh. Aduh, kesian lah awak ni.
It's okay. I'm enjoying it.
I'm enjoying it.
But yeah, I just ate so much like off camera. I didn't do any exercise.
So on camera you already did it a lot, and then off camera pun sama juga cerita.
Yeah, so basically memang kerja makan.
Kerja makan lah. Sentiasa lapar.
Sentiasa lapar. But yeah, then the more you eat, the more your stomach expands. So the more you need to feel full, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that was probably the biggest that was.
Then what happened? Is there any health concern?
I think there wasn't really a major health concern. In early 2020, I started working out. I started dieting, and then COVID came, and that completely ruined the plan.
Yeah. Well, everyone.
All the gyms were closed, like everything, right? So then during COVID, I was just walking a lot because you can't do much, right? Just walk around my condo, you know? And then it was after COVID that actually I got COVID. I had COVID quite bad.
Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, I was in hospital.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I had it quite bad because I was obese, you know? So that was maybe a spur, like to get my health in order. And then since then, I've just been quietly getting on with diet, gym. I go to the gym like almost every day, and I work out like twice a day. I do quite a lot, but I don't talk about it because I find people, I don't want to look like Ria, right? Like showing off, you know? And people don't really care. Yeah. You know?
Unless you were the health guy.
Yes.
That.
It's funny because I did try. Loads of people, I posted a photo and like a bit about my story, and those people are like, oh, Rhys, what did you do? So I thought, you know what, I'm going to create a Telegram group for people interested in diet and stuff. So I created this Telegram channel. I think it's got like 2,000 subscribers, you know, and I thought, great, I've got my health community now. So I start posting, hey guys, here's my meal. And then people just give advice like, telur jangan makan banyak sangat, kolesterol tinggi. Or, kenapa Aina ambil protein shake berapa sehari ya, Rhys? This is not a group for me giving you advice. This is supposed to be a group we share about what we're doing. I'm sharing what I'm doing. I'm not saying because I have a protein shake after the gym, you need to have a protein shake. So I decided, you know, it's not really going to work. I better just keep it to myself, you know, because people don't really care. And then a lot of people want a quick answer. People want to know, what pill did you take? So I know, man, this is like 2 years of like sweat and tears, you know?
Yeah.
It's hard, you know?
Yeah.
And you know what it's like, right?
Yeah.
It's the hours you put in that people don't see, right?
Yeah. I don't see the end result.
Yes. I mean, I do a lot of fasting as well, you know?
Came from me.
Yes, the inspiration.
Yeah.
You know? I did like a 7-12 fast like a few weeks ago. But I don't talk about it because then you can comment, bahaya lah. It's like, bahaya lah.
Apa Mat Salleh ni?
Or like some makcik will then copy it thinking that's how she'll get kurus, you know? Like, I realized
Without any context, without any...
yes, the context, you know? Like, you have to find what works for you.
Yeah.
So I'm in that journey, but I realize I can't share that publicly, you know? And
But there was no health concern. It's just like you realize it's starting to just get out of hands.
I realized it was starting to get out of hand. I mean, the COVID was kind of a concern. I did have some heart problems after COVID. I had
Underlying issue from COVID or just like...
I think, although this will be a separate topic, I think it's probably more likely related to the vaccine than COVID. You know? In hindsight, I mean, at the time I thought it was COVID. And then after more looking into it, I think it might be some sort of side effect. That did scare me a bit. And obviously the doctor says, well, you've got high cholesterol, your arteries a bit blocked, you need to work on it. But that wasn't the spur. I guess the spur was I realized I need to change my life for the better, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I feel a lot more healthier now. I mean, if you look at the picture,
you look better. You look a lot better.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
You know? Because man, I was really out of shape when I came to Brunei. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I look back at the video and the photo is like a different...
I don't look at the video anymore. You still do?
No, I mean, if I see like a photo, you know, sometimes Google Photos will come up with memories, right?
Yeah.
Like on this day, 4 years ago, and you look and you think, who is this fat? Oh, it's me, you know? You know, like, yeah.
You need to come to Brunei.
I want to come to Brunei, you know? You know, like,
If you plan properly, I'll clear my days and like we can go on a proper foot.
I would like to, like maybe I'll share a little bit. Right, one of the things a lot of people I guess don't know is the first time I went to Brunei I was 15 years old. I went for army training. You know what I mean?
As part of British punya.
The big base list Surya, right? The Gurkha base, right? I went there for like 2 weeks, and I loved Brunei.
Back then
I loved it. We went.
But why? If I may ask, that you knew there was no like alcohol, no everything. What was the main? But at 15, like I don't know what was the main.
Yeah. Also, on the army base, there's still alcohol. So
yeah,
I was 15, so I wasn't drinking. For me, it wasn't about that. It was I think a combination of. It was the first time I've been in the tropics, so the heat was every day was like. It was
a blessing for you.
It was a blessing. Back the army barracks doesn't have aircon, so it's under the fan. We'd all just be like hanging out. Like man, this is beautiful. And then we went to jungle.
It's such refreshing to know that people like you enjoy that.
I don't enjoy it so much now. Now I'm an guy. Back then I enjoyed it. We went in the jungle. They have the tower. I can't remember the name. They got the big tower. You can climb up with the canopy walk. You have to get a boat up into the jungle.
Temburong, I think.
Temburong. We went there. We stayed a few nights there. I just really enjoyed it, And I remember thinking I'd love to come back to Brunei.
Mm-hmm.
And then I never did. Then I moved to Malaysia. And then it's like, oh my goodness, like Brunei is like next door.
Yeah. So when was the second time?
Second time was 2015.
For what?
I just thought I want to go back for a few minutes, So I just got a flight in, went around BSB, like.
What? BSB, huh?
BSB, right? That's what you call it, right?
Gadong. Huh? Tak pergi Gadong. No Gadong.
Now you've lost me.
Gadong. Gadong is not a town. It's more, for locals, it's more Gadong.
I don't think I did.
You don't think?
I think we went to. Did we go there?
No, we went to Kulap.
I think
Yeah. For the trains.
Yes.
We didn't go to Gadong, I think.
But I remember when I went back again, I still enjoyed it. Then when I went back again, when we did our concert, I enjoyed it as well. So
yeah.
I definitely had to go back again,
You need to.
Yes. I will make a proper plan.
Yeah, this time. You gotta tell me, like, not how I told you I was coming. Like, maybe you tell me a few weeks early, I can clear my schedule, have some of the foodies help out as well. Yeah.
Make some content.
Make some content, obviously, yeah.
But make some content like santai.
Santai je.
Like pressure.
No pressure lah, tak apa. Tak perlu lah pressure. Apa pressure? Nanti masuk Reddit pula.
Third time lucky.
No, but there's been a few threads, so.
Let's make a positive one, right? Let's spin it around on its head. Balik kan dia.
Balik lagi. Ya, balik lagi. Oh my God. This has been such a treat. Oh my God. I was actually looking forward to this lah. Out of all the, because I made that promise to you that I will come back and COVID happened, like messed up all plans and, yeah. But I'm glad. I'm glad.
So you're following me now with your like mixed up
English accent. I'm glad I made this trip. And yes, I hope we can meet again. I'm sorry that you have to go to Singapore and we didn't get to like properly hang out.
I appreciate the opportunity and yeah, I enjoyed it as well.
Yeah.
It's interesting for me talking in English about a lot of stuff because it's normally Malay.
Yeah.
So
I hope we don't get any backlash out from this, huh?
Okay. That's all I'm saying. It's nice to talk about it and I guess talk with someone from outside Malaysia, Like, I don't know. It's been an interesting experience for me. I enjoyed it. I appreciate the invitation.
Thank you so much for coming and thank you for taking the grab.
Later I can claim, right? Allah, for you guys, sikit je. Sikit je.
When you say sikit je, it's so hard to not make it kasar, like, sikit je.
It's okay.
Oh, yeah, we have a lot of bah. And sometimes we say like, anu. Like, no, like, okay. It's, what do you call this? Anu, it's like a supplement.
Oh, like a suffix. A suffix, is it?
No, like anuba, like hey that one, like
like a for emphasis, right? Is it?
no emphasis, like a supplement word before you actually say. How do you? Yeah, an opening, like
An opening.
in Malaysia, in Malaysian language would be maybe itulah.
Okay.
Before you say the actual thing that you want to say. In Brunei, we sometimes say anuba,
Anuba.
but anu can be connect as well. No, not in the connect way. Just a polite way of people saying. People don't want to say the p word. They say anu, and then people would be.
I love how we accidentally got onto that topic. We managed to skillfully weave our way around it, and we've now come back to it. It all ends with
Do you still remember the swear words?
the Brunei one.
Yeah.
I do. I remember bayi. Because bayi is baby.
Yeah. And we had a discussion about that.
We had a whole discussion.
Yeah, because like you find it so weird that we use like was supposedly the most sacred word
Yes.
and turn it into a
Swear word.
swear word.
That was budu. Because like budu is like fish sauce. Like Kelantan, right? Budu, right?
Voodoo. Yeah.
Like-
Well, it's actually bodoh.
Yes, exactly.
And the P one, remember?
Now you're saying it. No, you have to tell me the people.
Paloy. Maybe I didn't tell you that.
I think I remember, but not as much as the other two.
Yeah, Palo is also like Budo. Yeah, but the way you say Budo is like, that's how he said. You don't say Bodo.
Yeah, Andu. Because you have here budu is fish sauce. You know, pati ikan.
What he got? Oh, they call it Budo. I didn't know that.
Budu. Like in Kelantan, you like nasi kerabu. So if you say in Kelantan, nasi kerabu budu, then okay. You say in Brunei, I punch you. Hey, nasi kerabu budu. I think I've been cancelled in Brunei now, so I can't come back, right?
Is being cancelled real or not?
No.
No, right?
Who gives you the authority to cancel someone?
Yeah. They have a lot of, like, people in Malaysia get cancelled all the time when they come back.
It's just some woke Western thing that's trying to catch on, like this whole concept of cancel culture. I think it doesn't really make much sense. It makes people feel better, but I'll probably be cancelled for saying this. I've been cancelled on Twitter like 3 times before. So
For one of them, for the
not one of them. No,
punching one. No.
no, that one. No, I got cancelled before. I was talking about Jawi script. You know.
Okay.
You know Jawi, right?
Yeah,
like,
I know Jawi.
Everybody's Jawi, right? So
Yeah.
I was learning Jawi. I was posting on Twitter in Jawi. Someone was saying like, you know, like I was saying like, oh, how come Malaysians don't even know what Jawi is, right? It's not to say you have to learn it, but you don't even know what Jawi is. You think it's Arabic. This is your national language, like style, or you know. Then I was making this point. We say, oh, this Mat Salleh guy is trying to stir up racial hatred, so cancel him. But I'm just talking about Jawi.
Yeah.
You know, Anif Bata.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't think cancel exists. We'll see after this if it exists or not. See you already.